What's good, everybody? It's Inside the Green Room with Danny
Chip,
Green. I'm
Chip.
Harrison Sanford, and
It's
my mood
ugly.
is not going to be good for this one, y'all. I'm sorry. The NBA Finals are a wrap. It's over. Sorry to all Dallas Mavericks fans, and I'm really sorry to all NBA fans. The Boston Celtics go into Dallas, get a 106-99 win. Yet another game where the Mavericks don't crack 100 points. And now this looks like a series over. We're going to, at this point, the discussion is who's going to be finals MVP. The discussion is going to be what's happening in free agency, because this NBA Finals, my friend, is a wrap. Now, what happened? The Boston Celtics got out to a big-time lead in the third quarter. They could absolutely not miss, Danny. They were going off in that third quarter.
Like 8 for 8 or something. They went 7 or 8 for 8, something crazy.
Something nuts, but at the end of the day, here go the Dallas Mavericks going like I believe a 21-2 run or something like that. Essentially, the Boston Celtics built up a 21-point lead. Dallas Mavericks come all the way back, and we finally, Danny, got a clutch game, a game within 5 points under 5 minutes. So it was actually a 3-point lead for the Boston Celtics under 5 minutes left, and then Luka fouls out.
Yeah. I mean, it was close to the game before, too. It was a close game, game two. It was closer. The first game was a blowout.
It wasn't clutch. It wasn't
clutch.
It wasn't clutch moments, but here we are, Danny. Luka fouls. We're going to talk about Luka Doncic because I got some problems with him.
Okay.
But end of the day, Boston Celtics escaped Dallas with the win, and I hate to say it.
It's a wrap. I mean, my prediction is totally shredded. Dallas played extremely well against Minnesota. It's not the same team we're seeing. That's where the disappointment comes in. It's like you played such a great series. You played so well against a really good team. And the Minnesota Timberwolves, who beat the Denver Nuggets, was the defending champions. And it's like, this was your year. And they just ultimately didn't show up in the first two games. Well, the first game for sure. Second game was close, like tight, but not still showing up. This game at home went to a big lead to start. Then they just walked them down and ended up being a 30, 31-point first quarter. I think they were up like 13 or so in that first quarter. And then from there, Boston kind of took over. And then that third quarter for Boston, they were hitting so many shots. The bench went on a 7-0 run. I'm like, it don't matter who is healthy or not. Porzingis, it didn't matter if he was there. The way they're shooting this basketball, they're going to win this game. Ultimately, they went kind of cold. They said they went really cold in that fourth, and then Dallas made a comeback. Luka made a play. That's just not a play. You don't put yourself in that position. When you have 5 fouls, you got to play matador defense. Not matador, but you cannot foul, you cannot touch, you can't put the referee in any position where he has to make a call. And that's a call they had to make. And Jason Kidd had to challenge it, which is even worse because it's my star player, knowing that I'm not going to win. So not only lose a timeout, I lose a challenge. I can't use it down the stretch. Man, that was just a bad –
it's bad all around.
Bad combination of just a series of plays for them that just went all wrong. So – but they had a hell of a year, man. They had a hell of a year. They're missing a couple pieces. Hopefully, they can bring everybody back and add some, pieces to them. I think they also made a mistake with playing Tim Hardaway too late in this. Like they didn't use him much last series. They didn't use him much at all this series, and they throw him in Game 3, expect them to find a rhythm. The kid's confidence is not where it should be, or what I'm saying, for this series. I think that was a mistake, but ultimately it came down to they just couldn't score enough, and Luka fouling out. And with him fouling out, you don't have enough buckets on the court, and you still. Boston not averaging a bunch of points, 106 points throughout all 3 games. I think they had 105, 107, now 106. And you guys can't crack 100.
Enough.
Your defense is doing more than your defense is doing enough to win the game. Your offense, you have to score. Obviously, you could get more stops, but you have to score the basketball.
Yeah, 35-19 was that third quarter scoring in favor of the Boston Celtics. But yeah, it comes down to that fourth quarter, and we could talk about the scoring, Danny, and we'll talk about that with the Dallas Mavericks. But number one, we got to talk about Luka Doncic, bro. Going into these NBA Finals, he was starting to get hailed as the best player in the NBA. And you look at his usage rate, his ability to score the ball, his ability to create shots, his rebounding ability. He is fully equipped with all the things that you need to do out of a superstar player. But Danny, you and I both grew up like loving 90s NBA basketball.
We did.
I'm sorry, bro. In order to be qualified as the best player in the NBA, you got to be you at the very least need to be an average defender. You probably should be a plus. You probably should be a plus defender if you want to be the best player in the league. And Luka is great. He's absolutely great. But, bruh, all of Boston's offensive attacks start with Luka Doncic. It's where's Luka? Attack him. Get your feet in the paint. If they don't collapse, go to the rim. If they do collapse, pass it out. Swing, 3-point shot. And Luka, as great as he is, and he is absolutely great when he is where you start your offensive possession, every single possession, and those generate threes, that is a big-time problem, Danny. If I look at this box score tonight, the Boston Celtics, this is why they win the game, Danny. They get up 46 3-point attempts. 46 3-point attempts.
And Dallas got, 26?
Yeah, and Dallas took
25.
25. When you get, it's a numbers game. When you're able to get up that many quality, I'm sure if they're taking that many, a lot of them are quality looks. When you're able to get that many, it's just hard to make up the difference. And how do they take that many? They find Luka, they attack him, and everything breaks down from there.
It's smart.
I know he's hobbled. I know he's not 100%, but nobody's 100%. When he goes through this offseason, he's going to have to look himself in the mirror, and he's going to have to say, I have to be better. Because if you watch these Celtics possessions, it is literally, where is Luka? And everything starts from there. And that's not good if you're supposed to be the best player in the league. For sure.
I will say this. They do attack Jokic as well. Doesn't mean that he's not the best player in the league. They're going to put him in pick and rolls. You can still be really good. I don't think he's the best player in the league, but he's definitely a top 5 player in our league, top 10. However you want to put it, he's one of the best players in our league for sure, in the top 5, I think, just because how skilled he is offensively. Defensively, I thought today he kind of early on took more pride in sliding his feet some. Regardless of if he's not playing it as well, he's still getting worn down. And that's why Boston knows it's smart to attack not only him, but Kai too. They're getting the switches. They're making them work on defense so that offensively they don't have their legs. And they have enough guys to go at them. They have Brown, White, Drew Holiday, Tatum. Like they have all these guys that can attack you. Even Pritchard and Hauser, like they're making them move and work and run them in pick and rolls and making them switch. So even when Luka was playing good defense or solid defense, he did slide his feet. It's still wearing him down. He's getting tired. So I get what you have. I just think there was a couple plays. Obviously, we know he does complain to refs. There were some fouls that they missed. There was a big time play where I think he flopped. They thought it was a foul. Jason Tatum going to the basket, and instead of just going straight up and making a layup, he tried to sell and try to get the foul. That's the only issue that I had. Usually when he turns the ball over, sometimes it's like, but he didn't do it's free throws. So free throws and just a couple plays where he flopped. It was like, and that's before this game. Now there's a couple. I think he made most of his free throws tonight. I had to double check. But other than that, man, I really think tonight he didn't have a great game shooting, but he did what he's supposed to do. And defensively, he did what he's supposed to do somewhat. He wasn't a matador. You saw the highlights, the clips of him last games where he's a matador. He still slid. He needs help offensively.
Out of that game, Danny. You can't foul out of that game.
I'll give you that. That's the other thing. They're making him get tired. They're making him get in foul trouble. You can't foul out, but ultimately, you need to score. You need help scoring. Like he needs help. You need help scoring. And yes, he'll look in the mirror. He'll get in shape. He'll slide more. And I said there was series where he looked really good. Minnesota, he played some defense. OKC, he played some defense. He was in the right place at the right time. I'm not saying he was locking down, but he was locked in. You know what I'm saying? And being at the right place at the right time. And I don't even think it was just him. Like there was plays where they're getting backdoor cuts. Drew Holiday or Jaylen Brown's getting layups and dunks. And it's like, who was not paying attention weak side? It's not him always. I'm seeing Derrick Jones Jr. You're the low man. A lot of times you pass off the cutter to the low man. Why is he getting an open layup? Like, this doesn't make any sense. So, ultimately, you're going to need help offense, but defensively, too, and communicating. You need somebody to help anchor a defense. When you have those two on the floor, you need somebody that can talk them through where they need to be and where to send people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
and that's where, like, a guy like a Draymond, not saying Draymond in particular, but a guy like Draymond is valuable because he can anchor a defense of telling you, send them this way. You got help here. You got that. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody can talk. When you have a lot of young guys out there that ain't talking like that, it's harder to know where to send it, and that's why you get mismatches, miscommunication. A guy gets open three off a slip. It's like, why is this guy open? Because they're not communicating.
And Danny, you mentioned, the Mavericks need to get better offensively, and their offense worked all postseason. The ability of Kyrie and Luka to generate offense because they force double teams is usually what creates all of the lob actions, the roll actions, the corner threes. They just are not getting that in this series, which leads me to praising the MVP of the NBA Finals. I said it before we started the final show, and I'm saying it again. Brad Stevens has put together a hell of a roster. Brad Stevens, when we get down to it, is really the MVP. For him to have Derek White and Drew Holiday as role players is absolutely nuts. A bonus and absolutely nuts when you really break it down. Their ability to play defense, their ability to hit shots, their passing ability, swinging the ball around, their communication levels.
Playing the right way.
Playing the right way.
And this is without Porzingis. Like, to me, that's the most impressive thing is like the lobs and stuff you're talking about. It's like those should have been there. Gafford had a better night, but it's like they weren't dominating the way they should have with Porzingis not being on the floor. That's the versatility they have with those four guys that play defense. Tatum, Brown, White, and Drew can guard bigs. And it's like, you bigs got to take advantage somewhere on the glass. You can't let these guys guard you in the post and box you out at the same time. But that's just the roster they put together. And they have Xavier Tillman over there doing some work, knocking down shots, playing some defense. Hauser, playing some defense. They got guys coming in and doing their part. Pritchard. So it's impressive, man. That was a hell of a win for them. Congratulations to the Boston Celtics. I know it's not officially over, but you guys are getting your 18th banner. And Brad Stevens is a big part or a big reason why. And he put together a hell of a roster. Now the key is, can you keep them together? You still have to pay Derek White. You just paid Drew.
Jason Tatum's getting that bag, and Tatum's getting the bag this offseason.
He's gonna have to get one. Jaylen Brown just got paid, so like you got to pay Tatum and White because you just got Porzingis. Like you have to try to keep those guys around. You're gonna be well into the apron. You're gonna be well into the apron.
Is there a third apron? Because that's where they're gonna be at.
That's where they're going.
That's where they're going.
Is it worth a championship? Is it worth going in that high of the apron for a championship? Because that group, they keep them together. I know Alfred's getting older. You're going to find some other pieces, but I think it's worth keeping that group together to go into the apron.
For sure. Well, the thing about a second, it's not like they can't afford them. They absolutely can afford them. You're allowed to be in the second apron. It's just, and especially when you're retaining your players, it's a matter of you can't really do anything else with the roster once you're in that second apron. Just like the Phoenix Suns, as they have Kevin Durant, they have Devin Booker, they have Bradley Beal. They just can't add it. And they re-signed Grayson Allen almost leading into the postseason. They just can't do anything else. But for the difference between the Phoenix Suns and the Boston Celtics roster makes sense. The Phoenix Suns doesn't make sense. You don't want to be in the second apron if you're the Phoenix Suns. Yes, you still don't want to be in the second apron if you're the Boston Celtics, which if I'm going to be in the second apron, that's the type of roster I want to be locked down with.
And winning and have a chance to win.
Winning. Yeah.
Phoenix have to change a lot of things, man. There's going to be a lot of things changing.
And being in the second apron pretty much prohibits you from making changes. That's the big difference here in this whole equation. Danny, when it comes down now to the Boston Celtics, I think the only real thing to talk about outside of are they going to pay Derek White, who's up for a contract extension, is essentially who's Finals MVP. And I'm going to say this right now. I feel bad for Jason Tatum because regardless of how many points he's generating, regardless of the quality defense that he's played, you still look at his shooting percentages. And tonight he goes 11 of 26, 4 of 13 from the field, and he had opportunities in the end of the game to finish it, to kind of put the Mavericks away. But it wasn't him. It was Jaylen Brown. And Jaylen Brown was spectacular yet again. Finishes the game 12 of 22, so over 50% with 30 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists.
Plus 13 too in the plus minus. I don't feel bad for him, bro. He's getting a ring. They both played well. He deserves it, and I don't think it doesn't matter. We talked about this before the series. Just win a ring. Everybody knows who, and it has to be just the man of the team, but we know whose team it is. It's both their team, right? Iggy won a Finals MVP. It doesn't mean Steph wasn't the best player on that team. Everybody knew who the best player on that team was. It doesn't matter. You win a ring. They'll be back again. He'll have opportunities. Like they're 25, 26 years old. Keep that group together again for the next 2 or 3 years. See what happens. He'll get an opportunity. I don't feel bad. He is going to get the bag. He's going to get a ring. and he'll still remembered in history as the top dog of that team. So it don't matter.
Yeah, I guess feeling bad is the wrong adjective. It's the wrong adjective, sure, because he's gonna be just fine. But this was an opportunity. He had a solid first half, second half kind of faded away. He had an opportunity here to really quell some of that noise that is around his name. But you're right, Danny. End of the day, a championship is a championship is a championship, and that is what the Boston Celtics are about to get. I feel bad. I tell you one person who I feel bad for, Kyrie Irving. He's in a bad spot, bro. Because tonight he
played well tonight, though.
Exactly. I know. He played well. 35 points, 13 of 28 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3. He was absolutely holding it down. And who knows if Luka's not fouled out, maybe he even performs better in those clutch moments.
Yeah, because he got less attention on him.
Yeah, here's the circumstance, Danny. Ain't nobody trying to get swept.
No.
So obviously Dallas is going to go out there and try and win game 4. And I wouldn't be surprised if they win game 4.
If they do, but they have to go back to Boston again, which is not a good. He's going to go 0 for 13 in Boston.
Exactly. So
that's
Kyrie,
it's a bad script for your boy. It's a bad
script for Kyrie. It's like you don't want to get swept, but damn, do I gotta watch the Celtics win the championship?
Celebrate in Boston, and I gotta go 0 for 13 and watch them celebrate over Lucky, who I stomped on his face. Like, oh man, it's a bad script for your boy. But it's all right though. He gonna bounce back. Dallas gonna get right. It's a Mark Cuban. They know what they're doing over there too. They figuring some things out. Jason Kidd. They got a good group, man. They figuring some things out. So hell of a year. Hats off to them, man. C's deserved it. They've been the best team all season. Dallas was a 5 seed, made it to the finals. Nobody expected that. Successful season for both groups, man. They were just tanking last year. You went from tanking last year to get Derek Lively to be in the NBA Finals.
Yeah. All in all, a successful season for the Dallas Mavericks. Obviously, a successful season for the Boston Celtics. I don't know what we got to do. And Danny, I don't want the NBA to be rigged. I do not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to be rigged. But whatever we can do next year, this time around, to ensure that the conference finals and the NBA finals go 6-7 games, Adam Silver, do what you got to do, my friend. Because the last 2 weeks of basketball have been unsettling and unpleasing, or it's been unsatisfactory for my basketball appetite. I want 6-game series. I want 7-game series. And we ain't getting that, y'all. We didn't get it, and we ain't.
And a long summer too. It was a quick finals. It's gonna be a long summer, bro.
Yeah, at least we got the Olympics. But at least, and the WNBA is capturing my attention. But man, oh man, it's gonna be a long off season. But I will say this offseason does seem like it's going to provide a lot of drama because of the new CBA kicking in and teams trying to get under that second apron and really reshape their books. So free agency should be popping, probably more. Free agency is going to be more entertaining than the NBA Finals. Could promise you that. So make sure you guys stay tuned with us right here on Inside the Green Room. One more thing before we get out of here, Danny. There's one person for sure who wasn't trying to see the Celtics win an NBA title. And that is Lakers legend and NBA legend, really, Jerry West, who passed away
R.I.P.
on Wednesday morning. Actually, Tuesday night, going into Wednesday morning, passed away in his sleep from the reports. So want to share my condolences to the West family. And I want to remember, I'm going to give you the floor in just a moment, but I will say, for Jerry West to be as good as he was as a player, and then to be as good, if not better, as an executive, he's not just a Hall of Famer. He is a pioneer of the game. He has set an example for all people, anybody affiliated with the NBA, for everybody to follow, from being the architect of getting the Lakers to have Shaq and Kobe together. We know what that turned into. I'm telling the Warriors management, don't you dare trade Klay Thompson for Kevin Love. And look what the Warriors became. And look what he actually did on the court. Danny, I pointed out right before the NBA Finals even started, because I thought this was on the table for Luka. Also, the only player to ever win NBA Finals MVP.
It'll never change.
And didn't win the series.
Be on a losing team, and that's never going to happen again. That's never going to happen again.
There's a reason why he's the logo. Much respect and much love to the legacy that he's left behind.
Yeah, man. We've lost a lot of greats in the past couple of weeks, man. It's been tough to see. RIP. Homicide, Corey Williams, New York legend, RIP. You know, Bill Walton, we lost him. And now Jerry West. And y'all been very fortunate and blessed.
Chet Walker as well.
Ted Walker. I've been very blessed, man, to come across some greats, man, and actually have a conversation with them. Some of them recruit me. And, said when I talked to Jerry, it was just surreal moment. And him just be as down to earth and shoot the shit with you and talk real. Like he was a real dude and, make you laugh. It was a lot of fun. I said, and those are moments that you always remember, hold dear to your heart. But yeah, he was a great dude. Not many like him, real one, just ultra competitive. And I know he didn't like his role of how they portrayed him in winning time, but I loved it. I think, that's who he was, and maybe it was different, but that competitiveness is not something we see anymore. And just the way he was, how he carried himself on all stages, aspects of this sport, and even off the, anything else, you could just tell. It's a rare type of one-of-one mentality that you see in Mike, Kobe, like generational competitors. Like you don't see that often. So condolences to him and his family. Much love to all the people that we've lost and their families, and prayers up to them. But we're losing a lot of legends, man. But he lived a full life, and I hope, they said he went to sleep, but hopefully it was nothing crazy. That was bad. But, I'm glad that I got a chance to meet the guy. I got a chance to he actually got a chance to watch me play, which is crazy.
Yeah, for sure. So, condolences to the West family. And also, now that we move forward, I just want to give you guys a programming note. I'm just going to keep it real with y'all. Keep it real with y'all. I know we said we was going to do an episode after every NBA Finals game. Just things to sweep, y'all. We ain't doing an episode Friday night.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's dead for that. It's dead for that. No, we're not doing that. But if it goes to a game 5, we'll do an episode Monday night after game 5, which probably will be when the Boston Celtics are NBA champions. And if the Celtics somehow win on Friday, we'll definitely chime in early next week, and we'll talk about what happened. Then we'll look ahead to the NBA draft. We'll look at the NBA free agency. So make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure that you give all the ratings so that you get notifications next time we are on your feed. For Danny Green, I'm Harrison Sanford. It's time to say peace out, y'all. Until next time.
Peace.